Well, today I'm beginning my 10-week series on the science of mind, on the core concepts. And there are 10 core concepts that we're going to be exploring over the next 10 weeks. The first one is the core concept of oneness. You see, core concepts are the basic theories of how the universe works. We will look at these concepts from both the universal perspective and the human perspective. So, to make it clear, universal means from the infinite perspective, and then the human perspective, or the microcosm, or the macrocosm. So core concepts are, for us in religious science, the basic theory of how the universe works. And in order to go forward, there's one leap of faith. There's only one leap of faith, is to believe that there is an infinite. Now, I don't care what religion you are or you're not. There is an infinite. There has to be an infinite. Otherwise, none of this could exist. And if you buy the idea of an infinite intelligence, quantum physics calls it consciousness. Consciousness is the ground of all being. It's the basis of everything. So when we embrace the idea there's an infinite, now we move forward. You see, in religious science, from the universal perspective, we talk about the thing itself. Notice how we call it the thing itself. It is the nature of God and the spiritual universe. You can use anything you want for God. God can be any type of words, infinite intelligence, spirit, it doesn't matter. But what we understand is there is one cosmic reality, principle and presence in the universe. We call it God. All creation originates in this one source. God is, and God is all there is. In other words, the infinite, which is God, is everywhere present, always present, all-knowing, all-powerful. It always was, is, and always will be. And no matter what, it's all there is. There can be nothing outside of it. Because in the very definition of the infinite, it means there's nothing but the one. Does that make sense? You cannot have more than one infinite. That is not a mathematical possibility. So when we say that God is all there is, it's because of that. When we say there is only one, that's what we mean. That's the thing itself. From this one source flows the spiritual, mental, and physical universe. All life, all love, all law, all energy, all harmony, all being, all physical form or effect, all creation, all physical and spiritual principles and laws are contained within this one. Do you see? We're really starting to bring the idea that everything is within the one. The physical, the spiritual laws, they're all within the one. The experiences, the physical, the mental universe, all within the one. All energy is within the one. Energy can change form, but it cannot be destroyed. Because isn't consciousness energy? Or is consciousness take and shift energy into various forms. Because aren't you and I an energy? We're looking at this. This is the universal perspective we're doing right now. From the one infinite source, everything flows. Many different terms are used in various cultures and theologies to express this concept of God. All of them have the same meaning, and all denote the single principle. So Yahweh, God, whatever you want to call it, Brahman, whatever, Buddha, whatever you want to call it, there's just one infinite. And they call it love. God is love. God is the acceptance. Divine love is the acceptance of all that is. Again, at the macrocosm, we're looking at accepting everything as it is. There's no judgment. You see, the infinite at the universal level cannot judge, because in order to judge, there must be something other than it. There's nothing other than it, so comparison doesn't exist at the universal level. It's fascinating when you think about that. So now let's take this and let's move to the human level. And in the human level, it's about the way it works. You see, each human being is a creation of God, made of the God's substance, a unique, individualized incarnation of spirit. This incarnated spirit is my essence and the essence of every human being. In other words, the infinite chose to create individualizations, unique individualizations of it, and you and I are that. I'm a microcosm of the oneness. You are a microcosm of the oneness. At the very root, we are the same. And yet, on the external, in human form, we're expressing uniquely and differently. The best way I can describe it is that if there's an ocean, on top of the ocean there are waves. I'm a wave on the ocean, and you're a wave on the ocean. We may be different sizes, different shapes, we move in a different way, but when we go down below the surface of the water, we're all the same. It's only above, in the human form, that we have the appearance of being different. But at the universal form, where we're universally tapped in together, we're absolutely identical. You see, this essence, this God essence, is uniquely mine. It can never be lost. It can never be damaged. It can never be diminished or destroyed. And it cannot be, none of this can happen throughout my and your eternal journey. Now and forever, I am an expression of God right here where I am. God in me, as me, in me. It is me. God is me. But I'm not all that God is. Does that make sense? So I can say that everything about Lee is God. Everything about you is God. But God is more than Lee. And God is more than you. And I love the idea here is that we can never be diminished, damaged, or destroyed at the core of all we are, and that we are now and forever, meaning that the essence of who we are lives forever. We're just not here and gone. No, we're eternal. We're absolutely eternal expressions of God, of uniqueness. Because each of us is an incarnation of the One, all life is inseparably one. There is a divine wholeness, a total interconnectedness at the source. That goes back to the whole idea that I talked about a few minutes earlier about the ocean. We're individual waves, but we're connected at source. No matter who it is on the planet, wherever, we're connected at source. We are inseparable. The illusion is we're separate. We are one. Here's a key thing. If we understand that we're all one and we can love each other, which means we accept each other, it understands that in our human form, we may not like each other. I may not like a wave that looks that way. I may not like a wave that goes too slow. But I accept that that wave is that. Because I know at core, we are one. And that's a hard concept to understand because we've been taught and trained to look at differences instead of looking at similarities. Despite my occasional feeling of separateness, this oneness is irrevocable and eternal. It is who I am. All humans are one with God, one with each other, and one with all of life, animate and inanimate. Isn't this what the Native American Indians talked about? That we're one with the water, we're one with the planet, we're one with nature, we're one with the animals, we're one with the plants, we're one with each other. As simple as their culture was, they understood the basic truth. That we are all one, and that can never, ever, ever change. But we've got caught up in the illusion of feeling separate. I have found that meditation allows me to go beyond that and to connect into the oneness. In religious science, in each of these core concepts, we have what we believe statements. And these are statements that I read to myself at least once a week. Because it just ingrains within me what it is I believe. And so for this first core concept, the concept of oneness, here's what we believe. We believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one, indestructible, absolute, self-existent cause. This one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. We believe in the incarnation of the Spirit in all, and that we are all incarnations of this one Spirit. I invite you to read this each and every day this week. And as you read it, consciously understand at the deepest level of who you are what this means. In fact, I would invite you to read this statement right before you go into meditation. Believe there is a God. Believe it is indestructible, absolute, self-existent. Believe that this Spirit, this God presence is in you. Believe that the Spirit God presence is in everyone. Believe and know that we are all one.